Hey, my stargazers, and anyone who has to win RFPs. This is a quick look into mytender.io. The true goal of something like this is making it so that you know exactly what softwares you want to demo seriously, as opposed to doing 10 or 15, which takes up so much time. I want to make it really easy for you. So Jamie Horsnell, CPO for mytender.io, focusing on the differentiators for what mytender.io is capable of. Mytender.io is specifically built for the UK public sector, built environments, construction, facilities management, anything in the UK public sector. Mytender.io is something worth you looking at. So let's get into what Jamie has to show us, and I'll see you over there. Hey, Jamie. So good to see you. And I'm excited to see what new things mytender has built, because it seems like it's been a lot.
Hi everyone. Lots we've been working on. I mean, AI just allows you to work incredibly fast. So we're doing lots of really cool stuff, shipping lots of new features, which, very excited to show off.
For those of you who don't know, Jamie is the Chief Product Officer at mytender, which is really focused on the UK public sector. So anybody who's doing proposals in the UK public sector or bids in the public sector, ITTs, frameworks, what have you, this is a tool to pay attention to and to see what it can do, because especially if you are thinking of what bid software could do like even a year ago, and that's the last time you've seen it, this is going to really open your eyes to what's possible. But yeah, show me what you've got, Jamie.
A quick intro to mytender's product philosophy. Everything goes through our core central agent so that it's easy to use and is able to get the best context possible from all different sources that as a bid team you need to create the highest quality bids possible. So we're focused on quality. We have lots of different evaluators and bidding professionals that have helped us get the responses to be as high quality as possible. I'm not going to go through all of the boring buttons and things like that, which probably every product has, but the things that are slightly more unique to us and our approach as a product. Starting off with the storyboarding page. So we're a big believer that storyboarding really drives quality through your bid responses. And we've focused on making this as high quality as possible and agent native as possible. Our agent will go away, find the best win themes possible, the pain points of the customer, go away, do deep research, find all of that information out, look at your differentiators, see how you compare to likely competitors on that bids, and it drafts that all for you very nice, very easily. And then basically what you can do from that point onwards is, let's say, just as a very simple use case, add another win theme highlighting our ease of use. Then pretty much the AI is going to go away and be able to edit any of these, so it's super easy to tweak any of the stuff that we've got in the platform. And then every change which it makes is also verifiable as well, as we're very big believers that the bid writer needs to be in complete control of the AI at all times. I'll quickly just pause there, Christina, and let you ask any questions around the storyboarding in particular.
Yeah, walk me through this. So of course, us bid proposal people, we love storyboarding, but once you've updated these win themes or whatever it is in storyboarding, what does it then do with the responses? Is this a reminder to me like, hey, we have a new win theme, or take me from there?
Great question. So, this is basically like the context engineering that we've done in the background. So when you are generating a response, it's going to read through all of these different storyboarding inputs and retrieve and pull through the most relevant ones to that question as possible. So it will let you know as a user which ones it's using at what time, what it's included, and make sure that the whole bid throughout is consistent to the content that you're building up in this storyboarding section.
Yeah, very cool.
And last quick thing I would say is, we've got like the old tone of voice one. You can create that with AI as well. And then one which is slightly new feature we've been working on is bid memory. One of the disadvantages I'd say you have when you're not using a specialized bidding solution, or maybe not a super AI native one, is that the context which you're giving to the AI when you're in the chat section, refining a draft, that's usually stuck within that specific chat that you've got. There's not necessarily anything which is remembering or saving that information and sharing it with the wider bid team. So that's what we've tried to solve with bid level memory. So that's anything throughout the bid that is deemed as important to the wider bid strategy, that is important that AI remembers. That's essentially something that we do, so that it could be adding some strategic points that another team member working on another question can get the benefits from without having to do anything. So that's another quick point on the bid memory that we've developed.
Yeah, and where do you see bid managers really taking advantage of this where they couldn't have done this with other tools previously?
So I would say that it's not necessary. It's something that just through the bid writer, the bid manager, the bid writer, having, giving in their input, their expertise, then because you're using, our customers that are using the platform, they're just benefiting to that by default. The one point I would say where it maybe changed their current workflow is that keeping an eye on that bid memory, understanding what's in there, it is quite a useful thing to keep an eye on. Maybe there's something that AI saved which you may not want being shared across chat histories for throughout the bid. So that's something you can click and delete. But yeah, that's it basically should all be sort of handled for you as a bid writer.
No, I love that because I think so many people when they're worried about using like honestly any tools, is it like context bleeding from one proposal or one bid to another instead of it really staying in one place? So I think people will really appreciate that.
100%. And usually we see like, tools like Copilot, which a lot of bid teams or customers of ours originally used. That's one of the shortcomings they have as well, is that memory, when they do add it in, I don't believe Copilot do any sort of memory at the moment, but when they do add it in, it's not going to be specialized to bidding. So they'll save something that you've maybe done on a construction bid, for example. And then if you're doing a facility management bid next, it could be using that information in the wrong context. So that's why having it specific to the actual opportunity and saved with that wider information is really powerful and saves from any sort of cases of that. Just a quick one. I mean, this is basically like our outline table, just show around bit around the workflow. You can assign who's going to be answering the question, reviewing it, the due date, handles words, characters, and pages, and then you can customize all the stages. It's there to showcase that it's all in one centralized place. Very easy for the bid manager to go through and track each different question and each different stage. Once when it has been completed, let's say if I select reviewer, then it'll go and tick that off, send it to an email to them saying you've got a lovely draft waiting for you, and then you can take it from there. So a nice centralized place to manage the bid from. I'll quickly skim past this part, but we've broken the actual responses down into the planning stage and the writing stage. So we've got the planning stage here once again, so that the bid writer, our customer, can input their knowledge of what they want the question, give their input, and really shape the response that they're looking to draft. They can add focus documents, and then they would generate a section that will then take them to the initial first draft. It's got citations, which you can click on, and will take you directly to where it is in your content that information has come from. So it's super easy to see where that draft has been comprised from. And then there's a couple of things you can do here. I'll probably point you out to what I find the most interesting. I think one which is probably our most commonly used feature is to score the response. Nothing groundbreaking, but we've added in a specific scoring card so that it can go fetch the evaluation criteria and then display quite a nice looking bar chart to visually show you within that initial draft, within your response, where you could be doing better at. So there you go, it's shown it nicely. It is prompted to be harsh, so that's 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5. That is there on purpose to incentivize you to make it as good as possible. And then it's going to give you some concrete improvements that you can then read, see if you agree with, and then add into the draft as a very efficient way to get to that final, that first review point, or even just that final draft stage.
Yeah, do you see people, especially like bid managers, bid writers, showing this to their SMEs who maybe written a response to be like, hey, like, here's some feedback. I didn't write it. The AI did it. Like, can you fix this what the AI said? Like, do you see that ever being used?
I tend to see that it's kind of kept for once the draft for their own purpose to basically help them get to that first draft stage. But then I would say with reviewers, we are seeing reviewers or SMEs that are coming on to review answers using the AI functionality to score it, to speeding up the specific things that they're looking for, and even just like them like adding comments and highlighting where that draft could improve. So that's where I'd say the main use case for a reviewer in using this tool would be.
Gotcha. Cool.
Cool. There's a button which can improve all, so that will give like specific prompts to get each of those to 5 out of 5. So you can get a nice loop going of getting to that really high quality answer. Once you have that draft and you're looking to maybe go into the formatting side of it and either looking to add in pictures from your library or generate AI images, I can quickly show some of the capabilities we've got there. Maybe how this currently works in the platform. If you're looking to get AI to generate it and you're looking to get a nice, lovely formatted bid, then you can just highlight the section that you're looking to generate a picture from. Then you can click on either generate picture, diagram, and we'll probably choose maybe picture for this one. And then that will go look at the text and generate an image. And we're starting to actually see businesses use this directly in what they're submitting to the buyer. Or if it's maybe a larger contract, maybe slightly more public sector, then they'll use that as a first pass to hand over to their designer so that the actual bid writer can really accurately get through what they want to into the image that they're actually wanting to prepare, also saving the designer time as well. So that's a quick image. It can be used for quite typically mobilization plans or risk registers, anything like that, which a nice diagram really assists. It can generate that for you.
Are these completely all AI generated, or somebody's taken from a library? How does it choose that mix?
So this button here is for the AI ones, and then we also have this one here which basically pops up all of the images which have been uploaded into the library, and then you can use AI to search up and retrieve the specific one that you want. So a lot of our construction businesses, that's a massive pain point for them. They've got loads and loads and loads of images and architectural drawings, etc. So being able to actually search that up nice and quickly, once again, drives a lot of efficiency.
Yeah, honestly, whenever I speak with anybody in AEC, like architecture, engineering, construction, they're like, that is their biggest complaint.
Yeah. I'll show one slightly newer one. Maybe I can quickly, get the AI to bring it up, but what content from the library would be good to add in? Ask me some questions to help. So one thing we're really working on is, reducing, further adding that human in the loop aspect, so that a lot of what the AI is doing is based off your guidance. The AI is just doing the legwork, providing you with the options, but then the bid writer with the judgment, with the expertise, can just select and verify it very easy, very quickly, to basically massively improve the speed at which you can get some of the context which is in your head and what you're trying to do into the platform and into the answers. So this is like an example. This would be like, okay, well, what sort of from the library, it's gone away, done that research. Okay, maybe I want that case study. I want you to check the library for that. In terms of explainable AI, I can quickly, I think that's fine. So you can basically go through, select that, submit that to the AI, and then that once again is like another very, very effective way at suggesting things which maybe as a bid writer you wouldn't have thought about otherwise, or even just guiding the AI in a specific direction as well. So I will quickly go on to show other parts of the actual core part of the platform, but we have compliance matrix, generates it right off the bat, and then all of this initial analysis on the tender documents. Fairly standard, but you can do cool things like your bid, no bid, decision criteria, except things like that as well into the system, so that speeds up that initial time frame that you have at the start of the bid in terms of understanding the docs. So yeah, I mean, this basically is the dashboard. We've got like a nice homepage where you can track all of the things you're working on as a bid writer, so it's nice and easy to keep everything centralized as opposed to on outdated Excel documents, maybe responsibility matrices, etc. We've got the dashboard which can show all of the different stages of your bids, and then one part here which once again goes to helping the AI learn specifically to your platform is the feedback. So you basically can upload feedback that you've been given by the buyer once it's been submitted. And what this essentially does is a couple of things. Firstly, it's saving it within the wider context of that bid opportunity itself. So it's got that understanding of what you actually submitted, the content you used, the win themes you used, and then it can basically, because it's got that context, you can get a lot more value from the feedback that you do get, as opposed to kind of a blind feedback sheet when you look back in 1 year's time that doesn't really give you much. And then the second thing is that is all going towards the AI. So when it's been saved on a similar contract opportunity in the future, the AI is going to flag this, and it's going to be like, you actually got feedback from this a couple of months ago on a very similar bid. Would you like me to pull up this feedback and analyze how it applies to this bid, or add this into your answer? Things like that, which really help to actually improve how you're writing bids as well. I know that, for example, feedback and doing things with the feedback you do get is a luxury that many bid teams don't actually have the time to do, in terms of breaking up and dissecting it and improving from that. This does it automatically for you, so that you can continuously use this really valuable data as you're creating bids in the future.
Yeah, anything that can help with feedback, like you said, is going to be so useful. I'm curious, so when you say similar ones, is it like going to be like industry type similarities, or is it even be like, hey, 3 years ago you submitted this ITT or submitted the response to an ITT for this East Bridge County Council? This is what you got. How is it deciding that those similarities, I suppose?
So a lot of that information is captured within this dashboard and the actual summary of the opportunity. So it's looking at the size, the location of that opportunity, recency, a bunch of different contextual factors to make the accuracy and quality of what it's bringing to you as a bid writer as good as possible. Because, let's say, for example, one of our enterprise customers who are doing cleaning and security, they wouldn't want, feedback given in a security bid being kind of like passed over and used into cleaning, let's say, as an example. So that basically is work which we've done to, make sure that that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Cool. So moving on from that, I won't show too many features, but this is a standard library which you can upload. We're releasing a bunch of features around this to understand how you can manage content better, help with like that whole sort of context management piece. Let me quickly show like what is the file structure in my library. So right now I can basically read the file structure. It can and we're adding in things like flagging older content, redundant information, things like that, so that as actually like making sure the specific content which is in your platform and driving the highest quality responses possible, that's something which is also extremely easy to manage through my tender. So yeah, that's just a quick example where it's called through some of the folders within the platform that you can start to do that initial analysis of where your content library is at from that point of view.
So just to make it really clear with your content library, you don't need Q&A pairs, you don't need tags, you don't need like really clear section headers. Like, talk to me through that, because I know so many people are used to needing those things. So what is required for yours to work really well?
So you can upload any sort of information just directly to the system, and in the background it will do that tagging, that like analysis, that parsing in the background. So that's all kind of handled for you. In terms of what we recommend uploading, we generally say upload high quality previous bids that are fairly recent, as well as any general information that you would look to be using in a bid. So we try to keep it fairly simple, quality over quantity, but as long as you have a good base of high quality context that you can start from and build from, that's typically how we sort of structure the library.
Yeah, and one more question about content libraries, because I love a good content library, but they've created a lot of headaches for me and so many people in the past, just doing those manual things that I was talking about earlier. But then I know a lot of people, so many conversations I'm having with people is they're using Copilot now instead of any sort of bid management tool. And so walk me through how this library is different and, from your opinion, better than using something like Copilot.
Yeah, so I would say with Copilot, it's essentially, I wouldn't say bid specific in terms of the information from that library it's pulling from. So yes, you can upload technically the same content to a My Tender system and to Copilot, but what it's doing in a My Tender that is different is looking at all of that context within the wider, looking at all of that sort of content that you've developed within the wider context and information of the opportunity. That's going to, through that library, and pull the best piece of context of information into the drafts as possible, as opposed to kind of doing it off a generic similarity search. But it basically like considers the wider information of what you're actually trying to do with your bid, as opposed to grabbing the most similar thing that it thinks it needs to pull from.
Yeah, it's not a similar content. It's about the proposal bid specific winning content. Really, like that's how I see it. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just like, because you could have a very high scoring piece of content that you've done in the past, but that buyer's not got the same pain points, the same problems. They're not even looking for the same thing. So if you reuse it in that scenario, it's not going to score very well. So that's why that wider context is very valuable.
Might as well just copy and paste. It's not useful.
Exactly. So the last thing I'll quickly show, just into what you can give to the system, set it up, and make it use the best quality content possible, general information about the company, the tone of voice libraries you want, your unique selling points, any custom order instructions. So it's typically how you write the bids, your specific style. You can also do branding colors for when you do formatting, and have our AI generate PowerPoints and Word documents in your branding colors. And then the point around memory I touched on earlier, we also have that on an organizational level. So information that you do want consistently across every bid, that's what gets saved into organizational memory. And then the feedback memory one we covered as well. So how the AI knows and understands your business, thinks like you do as a bid writer, and actually responds like you do in your tone style, with a deep understanding of your business to drive the best responses possible.
I mean, one thing that really sticks out is just so much of this wasn't possible a year ago, 6 months ago. And so if what you're using right now isn't doing this, or isn't proposal, bid, ITT, whatever you're talking about, isn't specific to that, it's not going to be able to do it in the way that Jamie just showed. For the people watching to sit back and think about it, like what's going on with what you're doing and the features that you do have. Because I know talking about features is boring, but honestly, like to some people, we're told in our proposals and our bids, don't talk about features. But in this case, these things have never been done before. And they are directly useful to the everyday processes that you have to have.
Yeah, it's very true. I think not just bidding specifically, but everyone working now is having to almost like relearn how they can do their jobs slightly more efficiently with AI. Like the things I'm sort of doing in my personal workflow of just general working is, even from, I guess, a couple of months ago, I feel like I'm getting so much more done and doing a lot more with it. And with that, obviously, it comes a lot more learning, a lot more change, which is definitely things which can be off-putting when there's like so much change going on. But I suppose it's back to the bid writing sense, or it's kind of having a provider that takes you on that journey with them. You're maybe not even like buying into their product at that point in time, because it will change quite rapidly. Everyone's products will change probably quite drastically over the next 6, 12, 24 months. And I'd say it's definitely around what is that company's core beliefs, what are they focused on, what's important to them. If you can align on that, as well as someone that helps to really take you on that AI journey with them, I think that's another sort of part of what you should be looking for in a provider as well.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So thank you for walking me through this. For anyone who's watching this and is interested to learn more, I'll link everything to My Tender and Jamie as well down below, so you can find him there. And of course, he's active in Stargazy as well. So if you're like a little bit too scared to get a demo at first, feel free to go in there. We have some of their users in there, and of course Jamie as well, for really no pressure conversation situation. And yeah, thank you so much, Jamie. All right, Stargazers, thank you so much for watching this overview of what mytender.io can do. If you have any feedback, other tools that you want to see, let me know anytime that you want to talk with Jamie. I have all of his details down below, and also where you can find him in Stargazy. So, all right, I'll see you next time.